All right, then we'll call the meeting to order. Could I get a motion to enter public session?
I'll make a motion to enter public session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're in public session. Roll call, please.
Ms. Jessica Bullock.
Here.
Mr. Luke.
Here.
Mr. Spencer.
Here.
Mr. Hoffman.
Here.
Mr. Rose.
Here.
Please stand for pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, justice for all. Comments from the public on agenda items. Just a reminder to those members of the public in attendance, this is one of two opportunities afforded to members of the public to comment on or inquire about agenda items. Members of the public will also have an opportunity at the end of the evening's agenda to comment on matters formally noted on the agenda. We appreciate those cooperation. Does anybody have anything? Anybody online? And you can always email comments to boecomments@manans.org, although I think people can also comment live on our meetings. If you ever want to send anything ahead of time, boecomments@manans.org. Item F, approval of minutes. Resolution, please.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District accept the minutes of the May 6, 2026 regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, discussion, superintendent's reports and updates.
So this evening, I just wanted to speak to some of the programming. It's hard to but it is monthly, but in, a little over 30 days, we will have some of our youngest kids back here in the building and having about 2 weeks off, and some of the programming will kick off. So under Mrs. Kozlowski's direction, we will run 3 self-contained programs again this summer. Many of our students return over the summer for a period of 6 weeks, and the goal is to really keep their skills fresh, maintain the progress that they've made, and allow them to kind of just be where they were when they left us in June and maintain those skills. Mrs. Bruce, Mrs. Foley, and Mrs. Colliero will all lead those programs with many of our aides returning, and Mrs. Parsons and Mrs. Tour will offer some of our related services. We continue to look for a physical therapist, so we will contract those over the summer, but we are positioned to start those programs, and we're excited. It's quiet here for like 5 minutes, and then back in the building, it's a great program that will run the summer, and last year, our Rotary direction for the first year was incredibly successful, and we look forward to having the kids back. A little bit of a different pace, but back in the building and here for the summer. In addition, we'll be running our Tiger Learning Labs as well. We will continue with our ENL, or English as a New Language program, under Mrs. Catini. She will work with our students whose first language is not English and continue to learn the language and work with it in the academic setting. One of the challenges that our new English language learners have is usually their home language is primarily spoken in the home. So being able to come here over the summer and engage with their peers gives them the best of both worlds. We will always continue encourage our students to be bilingual, but giving them the opportunity to come here and use their English language skills over the summer is critical, and they really have enjoyed those programs to date. And then we will have our traditional Tiger Learning Lab. In kindergarten, we're going to this year. Now that it's our pre-K program, will be invited. Kindergarten, first, second, third, and fourth graders will be all welcomed into the program for a traditional reading and math skills program. We do some research under our core. They practice their math skills, but they tend to do it. We try to make it that school 2.0. So have the kids come in, learn, grow, keep their skills fresh, but also do it in a way that's a little bit more play-based, a little bit more fun, and really just something to continue the artists to say about learning, get them into work on those skills. And then last but not least, we are going to do something a little bit different for our current 5th and 6th graders. So our attendance for current 5th and 6th graders, kids going to 6th, kids going to 7, tends to be very poor. We just can't seem to get them in the door. If they do get in the door, they come for a couple days, they're here, they're not. So we are going to try with STEM camp with those kids. So we're going to use a lottery-based program, and under the direction of Ms. Urban, we're going to have current 5th graders in for 2 weeks for STEM-based activities that will incorporate reading, writing, math, and problem solving in a STEM-based manner. And then the next 2 weeks, we'll have 6th graders in to do the same thing under Mrs. Urban. we're gonna do it as a lottery-based system and not just students who maybe struggle academically, because it's not necessarily a program that's meant to, fill gaps. It's a program that's meant to continue, and we felt strongly that we would offer it to everybody. We'll do a lottery system, and then, we have found that to be incredibly successful too, because students who sign up for a lottery, their attendance tends to be much better. So we're gonna give that a shot this year. We have a couple of STEM programs that we're looking at. But Mrs. Urban has said, come on, we try something new, and we will, maybe, our hopes that we can engage our fifth and sixth graders over the summer. And then last but not least, Global Foundries has picked up our 7th going into 8th grade STEM camp. We took a break from it last year for General that previously funded it, but they had pulled away from those one-time kind of donations. So Global Foundries has stepped up and has brought the STEM camp back for us. It will be 12 rising 7th graders that will come to our school, along with 12 rising 7th graders from Watervliet, and they will come here and work with someone from Global Foundries who has an interest in education using a STEM base camp, and they'll be here for 1 week for full days. Last year they built race cars and then raced them. The year before they had done some Lego challenges. The year before that they had done some robotics. So it really is it's a way to get kids excited about science and math. So we are excited to bring that program back this summer. So we have quite a busy summer here, but it's something that we're looking forward to, and it's nice. We have the kids here in the morning. The afternoons are a little quieter where we can get some of our summer planning done, but the kids have done a nice job.
Any questions?
No.
Summer plans. Item 3, business matters, non-action items. A, warrants. Both of the information of the board are copies of the following warrants and claims auditor report for April 2026. There were a lot of them, just a lot of end of year expenses. Good, if you have any questions about any of the warrants? All right, item B, non-action items, appropriation status report. Any questions on that? Item C, non-action items, revenue status report. Any questions there? Item D, non-action items, BOCES service request, AS7, projected 2026-2027 school year. I'll pause on this one for a second. This is one that we don't usually see, but was included this time to, I think it's Pamela would share their update that this is something that's part of our budget. It's a large chunk of our budget, so to kind of see where the money goes and how it breaks down. If you want to add anything to that?
So each spring we fill out the service request, and it's our best guess at projections of the services that we'll use through BOCES in the coming year. So you'll see things, whether it is databases that we are going to use, our special education placements are included in here. For the programs we use to run our payroll, finance manager. So we pre-sign up essentially for the services that we will use next year. And this is projected. So over the course of the year, this may grow. So if a teacher signs up for a professional development course, that would be added to our bill over the course of the year. But this is, I guess, it's our base level of services that we know going into the school year that we would utilize. Would you have anything else, Mrs. Martin?
The only thing I would add is sometimes throughout the course of the year, if we're going to purchase a large technology purchase, we can run those purchases through BOCES and then be eligible for the aid on them. So often we do that, not always, but often.
Does anyone have any questions on that service request? I mean, so it looks like year to year.
I appreciate the extra information. I was going to ask about it anyway, but that covers anything I was going to.
Yeah, and then another month, I think, we get the one that's finalized for what we spent this past year, and I will also give that to the board for an informational piece.
Do you think this 25-26 is kind of close, or we don't even know yet?
No, it's much higher than, well, where we are right now is going to be higher because we did do a large purchase of hardware through it. when we transferred money from our technology budget into that code. So you'll see it a little bit higher.
Any other questions? All right, then we'll go to item E, non-action items, budget transfers under $10,000 for April and for May. Any questions on those? All right, then moving to business matters, action items. Item A, treasurer's report. Could I have a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District approves the Treasurer's Report for April and May 2026 and the revised flex spending report for March 2026.
Second.
Any questions on those? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, business office contracts for approval. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District hereby approves the following contracts A through J as listed.
Second.
Were there any questions on those? I had one, but did anybody else have any questions first? The only one I had was about the landscaping contract was a big increase, and I went back and pulled the original contract, and it just looks like a big jump from last year to this year. And I didn't know if there was, the language of the contract, I assume didn't change, but I know there's usually more behind the scenes like going on, so I just didn't know if there's a reason for the big increase on that.
When we did the contract last year, I would say this was Mr. Rohr's first entry point into schools. And, the difference between his bid and the next bid was a little over $30,000. So I think, going into this year, I think he was trying to right size his costs. So we met with Mr. Rohr. We've been very pleased with his services to date. We had a conversation about having him return, and he did share that, he had underbid what he had anticipated the cost and the time, to be here. And he had talked about, in order to really be able to continue the contract, having to kind of come in at a more competitive rate. What I would say is even with his increase, I do believe even from when we bid it, it was 3 years ago,
Right.
he still would be $15,000
Yes.
under.
Absolutely.
So when we got and then when I came in, Mrs. Moran and I had a conversation, she said, this came in a lot lower than probably would have. I anticipate when we come back, because you go to the bid opening, right, and then you get a sense of where the bids are really coming in, you do work for a year. So I think that, this contract is probably more in line with
Where the job, with
Yeah.
the different side of the work. Absolutely. All right, thank you for that. Any other questions on any of that contract or any others? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, business office, action items, donations. Could I get a resolution?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District accepts the donations as listed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm going to abstain to the donations are from the PTA and I'm on that board. But the motion still passes. Thank you for those donations. Business office, disposal of items. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District approves the disposal of the items listed below.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E, payroll calendar, 2026-2027. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District, upon the superintendent's recommendation, hereby approves the 2026-2027 payroll calendar.
Second.
Just an update to the, when the actual payroll happens for the next year. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, budget transfers over $10,000. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved, the authorization of the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District approve the enclosed budget transfers over $10,000.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item G, action items, annual acknowledgement of salary agreements. Can I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District approve the 2026-2027 annual acknowledgement of salary agreements for non-instructional and administrative staff.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item H, action items, professional and curriculum development projects. Can I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District approve professional and curriculum development projects not to exceed 400 hours in accordance with the MAT contract. All hours will be submitted and approved via timesheets.
Second.
Any questions?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item I, reserve transfers, TRS reserve. Actually, before we go into the reserves, I'm just gonna say as a general statement, all of these items that you see here, these reserve transfers, this would be giving authorization for the business office to make transfers into reserves at the end of the year. You'll see that they're all up to amounts, which means that this amount is not actually getting transferred in there, but this amount, if there's extra money, unspent money at the end of the year, money could be put in these reserves up to the amount listed for each item. That makes sense. And if anybody has any questions about individual reserves, when we get to them, feel free to ask, but that's just. TRS reserve, can I get a resolution, please?
Item I. Be it resolved that the authorization of the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District to be given to transfer up to $75,000 to the TRS reserve for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item J, ERS reserve, can I get a resolution, please?
Be resolved, the authorization of the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District be given to transfer up to $75,000 to the ERS reserve for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item K, capital reserve, can I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the authorization of the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District be given to transfer up to $750,000 to the capital reserve for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item L, repair reserve, can I get a resolution, please?
Be resolved that the authorization of the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District be given to transfer up to $500,000 to the repair reserve for the 25-26 school year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item M, reserve transfers, tax surcharge. Say it out loud, we got shoot surcharge. Get a resolution.
Be it resolved that the authorization of the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District be given to transfer up to $150,000 to the tax surcharge for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So that's all the reserves. When those are finalized, Joanne said she'd come back and let us know what is actually being transferred, so that we have the final numbers to the end of the year.
Absolutely.
All right, item 5, Board of Education action items. Item A, reorganizational meeting. So this one, before we do the resolution, I'll just talk about it for a second. We have this scheduled for the first Monday of July. Usually we meet the second Monday of the month. But we originally had this on the calendar for the first Monday of the month, which now that the village is using the same space and equipment as us, was a conflict. So this is a resolution to move our reorg meeting to the day after on Tuesday. Is that okay with everybody?
Okay with me?
Initially, it wouldn't have been such a challenge with they were to bring their own equipment, but now they're utilizing ours, so it makes it easier for, us to move our meeting by one day. Avoiding conflict and allowing the students to move the equipment to continue with their operations.
All right, if everyone's okay with move, could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District hereby designates that the July 2026 organizational meeting will be moved to July 7th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, policies. A, first reading of policies. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of the Policy Committee, approves the first reading of the following policies A through B as listed.
Second.
Are there any questions about these? I'll just briefly comment about the changes. The 2210 is just about the structure and positions that our appointments that we do during our board organizational meeting. This just more closely reflects what we actually do and what we need to get done during that board meeting. And then the students, 5151 students in temporary housing, this was for the most part, or maybe entirely, not a change to the actual policy, just a change to the language, called students temporary housing for the students. Did anybody have any questions about any of these? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, personnel matters. A, create position for reasons of informational technology. Could I get a resolution, please?
Whereas the superintendent of schools hereinafter superintendent and the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District hereinafter Board of Education have determined it necessary and proper to create a position for reasons of informational technology, be it resolved that upon recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby creates the following position: a 1 FTE Information Technology Specialist 1.
Second?
Any questions about that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, personnel agenda. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District approves the updated personnel agenda items as listed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So for the instructional positions, I don't necessarily have, you had an opportunity with Mr. Katie prior to the board meeting, we're excited to bring him on and to focus on our band program. He's well equipped to do so. He came in and met with kids today. He's currently in the Albany City School District as well, so he will come in 2 days a week and work with our students. So we're excited to have him join us. I would also mention Mr. Murphy. He has been filling in our long-term music position, and he really has been outstanding. He is an education student who's who just finished, I believe, his bachelor's degree and his student teaching this past May. He's unfortunately returning to Boston to finish his master's program and hopes to relocate out there. He is a Manans resident and had come through towards the end and had attended Shaker, but he's really fantastic. Our kids have benefited from knowing him. He's more of an elementary ed person, but you wouldn't know it. He's in there doing some great things with the kids, and I'm glad that he gets to spend a little bit of time here, and he will probably have a very positive outlook as he continues forward. So, and then we have all of our people who will be joining us over the summer. And like I said, I would thank the staff for doing it. While it is an opportunity to earn a little bit more money, they do it because they want to be here with the kids more than anything. So we appreciate their time, their energy, and the expertise that they lend to us. And without them, we just simply couldn't understand the programs that we have. So we are grateful for their time in the summer. And then non-instructional staff appointments. I would start with Mr. Daniel Leach. He is going to come on as our school psychologist. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you.
He has spent the last year up in North Colony, working closely with a well-respected school psychologist up there. Daniel will come to us. He'll spend half of his time here. He'll spend half of his time in Green Island. Daniel has had some experience working with, at the ARC with students or children and adults with developmental disabilities. His references here in North Colony and his other, employers were outstanding. And across the board, they do believe that he is a young professional that shows a ton of, potential, thank you, a ton of potential as he enters the career, and, they said we could live in love here to go. So welcome, Daniel. Thank you. We also have Catherine, which goes by Katie, with us. Catherine will come on board this summer as our head cook in the kitchen. Katie comes to us from a variety of food service roles, but most recently she has been the store manager at Malta, the Malta Panera. Katie, when she came in, she was an outstanding interviewee. We gave her a task around building a menu and starting to dig through the child nutrition materials, and she nailed it. Those materials are not easy to comb through. They're complicated and dense, and she did a really great job. And then the icing on the cake again were her references. You know, when someone tells you that, you know, your gain is our loss, that's one of the greatest compliments that they can get, and that's across the board for Katie. So we are excited to have Katie come on board and step into some pretty big shoes, so I'm confident that Katie will do a good job as our next head cook. So welcome, Katie. And then we have Tammy with us in the audience as well. So Tammy is going to come on as the secretary to the superintendent and also as your district clerk. Tammy comes to us with a wide variety of experiences. She spent quite a bit of time at Sienna, worked in their public safety department, and then working with their executive leadership in a very similar role. It's what she'll do for us. And then most recently, she's been at the Alzheimer's Association and has been the office manager and assistant to one of the executives over there. Again, Tammy's through the interview process, the tasks that we gave, and then her references were outstanding. And much like Katie, you know, the theme was that your gain is our loss. So we're excited to have Tammy come on. You know, Trish will still be here to help with the transition, but Tammy will join us on July 1st, and I'm excited to work with her, as I'm sure, you know, many of the people in the office staff will. And then last but not least, welcome. And then last but not least, Colleen, Mayor could not be here, could not be here this evening. And partially that is because she accepted the position this afternoon. So she would not expect her to be here tonight. Colleen will join the front office and will be the CSE and principal executive secretary. Colleen comes to us from the Wildwood School and then some office management experience as well. She is, I think, going to do a great job. Her attention to detail was impeccable, which is so important from office around sub coverage and a lot of the duties that we do. So we're excited to have Colleen join us. She'll join us on July 1st as well. So welcome. So last but not least, I would say to Tammy and Katie and Daniel, you are more than welcome to stay for the remainder of the board meeting. Also, if you would like to step out, please feel free. Many people do at their appointments. You're welcome to stay, but please feel free to go with that bill. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
All right, we're on item C, resignation. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District approves the resignation of Brett Bateman, Office Assistant 2, effective close of business May 29th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We want to thank Brett Bateman. She wasn't here very long, but we want to thank her for the time that she was with us and wish her luck in her new position. Item D, letter of resignation. Could you give a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District approve the resignation of Gabriel Gonzalez, building substitute, effective close of business June 25th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Also want to thank Mr. Gonzalez. He was our building substitute for the year. I got to work with him a little bit in the library near here to the book fair. Booker is a little chaotic, he did a great job with the kids. Stuff to keep building stuff for longer than a year, they get experience and they move on. I'm gonna thank you for the time you spent with us and wish him luck in his salary position, salary training position. So I wish him luck. Item E, substitute teachers fully cleared. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District approves the substitute teachers for the 25-26 school year as listed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, tenure recommendation. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, grant tenure to Ryan Godson, special subject art tenure area, effective September 1st, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So the tenure recommendations is, one of the best parts of my job. We bring somebody on, we interview them, we get to meet them for a little bit, and then we have the option to work with them for either 3 or 4 years. Ryan came to us from a variety of experiences in New York City, moved to the area and took a chance on our school, and we took a chance on him, as we do through the interview process, right? Because, you don't really get to know a person until they're within these 4 walls. When Ryan came, he had really big shoes to step into. Not only was he filling the position of the only art teacher in the district, he was filling the position of an art teacher who lived in the district, had children who come through the district, and who had been here for close to 20 to 25 years. So, for Ryan to come in and he came in with grace and with confidence and a quiet way about himself that it's been really fun to watch him grow into this position here at Manans. Manans is a little bit different than many of the other places that folks have worked. We invest in our special area classes, and we respect our special area teachers, and we really give them the space to not only let their students create, but for Ryan to share his expertise and to instruct in the area of art. And that is an area that, Ryan has really grown into and has flourished in. The kids go in, it's a creative space, it's a fun space. Ryan has kept some of the old favorites from the art room and has brought on many new ones that the kids love. The album covers, if you didn't get to see them out in the hallway, that was an original Ryan art project for our 8th graders. They were outstanding. And he continues to grow the art program. He continues to push himself personally. He wasn't super comfortable in the area of play, and he took a little time to get in there, and now he's like, I think that play projects in half of his classes. So, it's been a lot of fun to watch Ryan grow. We're excited to have him continue to grow here. And it was an easy decision when we were making the tenure recommendation between me and Mrs. Wiley. And we couldn't be prouder of the work that you've done. We couldn't be happier to make a commitment to you long-term in our district. So welcome. The other side of tenure is that.
Already said, appreciate all the work done with the kids and growing our program, and congratulations.
I would say the same that we said to the other folks that were here. Please feel free to, hug and love your family and spend the evening. You're more than welcome to stay, but please know that you can go without the good life. Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Okay, so that takes us to item G, updated school calendar. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District adopt the updated 2026-2027 school calendar as submitted.
Second.
I'll say for the public that we did make a change to the calendar. We switched around our superintendent's day with that we had a day in November that we moved to November. Primarily because we don't have a firehouse anymore to use for elections. So we offered to let the community use the school for elections. With that, elections happen all day, with a lot of people coming in and out. So we decided it'd be better to not have students in the building on election day. So that way, it's still the same number of school days, but that way would be compensate the staff in the building. That's the only.
Yep, you can now have.
Okay, any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E, superintendent program recommendations, a CSE, CPSE recommendations. Could I get a resolution, please?
Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Manans Union Free School District hereby approves the CSE, CPSE recommendations as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, student matters, enrollment update, back up to 300. How's registration going, Trish? How's our kindergarten looking for next year?
They just keep coming. Doing another round of kindergarten screenings on Wednesday. I want to say with our 17 rolling up, I have about 10, I would say 10 to 15 kiddos in, who are that are coming from outside of pre-K. It's good, it's a good group.
Item 10, administrative updates, superintendent's comments.
So I have had, the opportunity to meet and speak with Mayor Marsh on several occasions, and the school will, partner with the village to help them maintain their operations, since the fire at the firehouse, which also impacted the village hall. So all of our village meetings will take place here in the library. Trish stayed for the first village meeting to make sure that the technology was up and running. They will use our setup just to make sure that it runs as smoothly as possible. Don Handrigan had had the opportunity to work with Trish, get it all up and running, make sure that it all worked exactly how they wanted to. And then our guys will make sure that they have the setup for the village meetings. The fire company will also meet here. I believe that is the second Tuesday of the month, and then Ladies Auxiliary will meet the second Wednesday of the month here as well in the library. And we're working on them, what they would like those setups to look like, so we're ready to go. Later this month, they'll have their zoning meeting here as well. And then as Ms. Trustula has shared, we are going to host the general election so that residents within the village have a central location to vote that is easily accessible. We used to be a primary election voting site, however, it all moved to the firehouse. And it really was around student safety. Having a high number of people in and out of the building over the course of the day isn't ideal when you have students here, so we made that adjustment to the calendar, looking ahead to an opportunity to host that the general elections here. And make sure that operations can continue as smoothly and as best as they can. I've shared with Mayor Marsh that we'll continue to be here, we'll support, stay in contact with us if there's other things that come up. We will prioritize making sure the village has space to do the business that it needs to do, particularly around these meetings, during this time of transition for them. The second item that I have for you is around upcoming events. So it is June and it is going to come fast and it is coming furious. So Mrs. Wiley will share some of the June events that we've already had. This week we will keep on moving. We have our middle school dance hosted by the PTA with a red carpet theme. I do expect that we'll have some kids show up in shorts and t-shirts, and I do expect that we may have some gowns in store for some of our other students. There may be some mini version of proposals going on and lots of. It should prove to be a fun night. I'm sure it will start with lots of kids standing on the outside of the gym. Hopefully, Ed will get them moving and have some fun. Just let them have one last, fun evening as we go into the summer. So we look forward to that. We have pre-K moving up. We have kindergarten moving up. For the first year, Mrs. Wiley is working with some of the fifth grade parents to do. There's an award ceremony followed by like an ice cream party at the end for some of our fifth graders as they transition to high school. We have middle school exams coming. And the list, goes on and on and on. So, we've got some kids who really have to put down their heads and get some studying, get some work done, but we'll make some fun in there as well. We are well into A to Z countdown. Today we are in our blue and gold. I was earlier, and then I changed for our board meeting. So, Carrie and Steph are two of the 3 staff members that really make that possible each year. Just to have a little bit of fun as we kind of wind down to the end of the year. It helps June go by. It gives us a little bit of a sense of community. We do things together. This is why we have some assemblies that may or may not involve dance party, I found out today, to celebrate students who have exemplified the energy bus rules. So, you know, there's a lot of community building, a lot of work, but a lot of uplifting activities that happen to really send our kids off with a really positive note. So I encourage you to come on by, be here for whatever events you can be here for. We'll have graduation and final Thursday. Hopefully it won't be too hot. But if it is, I promise you that the parents will enjoy seeing the kids on stage just as much as play. So we welcome you to be here. I think you're probably going to talk parents in and out of the building over the next couple of weeks, which is great. We want them here, right? Like they get to come here and see the work that their kids do, and then and see the work that our staff does. So it really is it's a fun thing.
Thank you very much for that and for all the staff. It can happen, in the years tough, kids don't want to be here. So it's, you know, some of the teachers are tired, right? So they get a little bit fun, it helps. Item B, business managers comments.
I take an opportunity to let the board know that open enrollment is now closed. It went very well. I'm grateful for Sarah. I'm grateful for both the board and Ms. Canavo's commitment to the business office because it's a lot of work for one or two people that are new. So thank you for Sarah. She has been a key person to assist with the HR stuff, the open enrollment. And every day we sit there and we go through everything that there is to do. Boy, there's a lot to do. I mean, there's a lot, but we'll get it done together and then I'll see you and then she'll be on her own. She'll be out. Don't worry about it. But it did go well. I think the employees had quite a transition to do their own forms. But we all did them. Even I did my own form. I had to go call somebody out. I couldn't ask Sarah because I didn't want to be embarrassed. So I figured it out. Well, we got through it. So that went well. We'll see how that goes. There's the first meeting of the full mock trust. I think it's not a regular meeting, but that will start in September where members of the Health Insurance Committee and from the Teachers Union will go. Because they should really play a role in our health insurance products as we can. Cafeteria update, we met Katie Newman here. She really hit it out of the park. We are so excited. Sean's doing great. He undersold himself, you know, he was so worried, but he really is stepping up. We're all trying to help him down there. The menus might not be as, I want to say they're pretty much routine right now. Not trying anything new right this minute. Wait till fall for that. But everything is going well. And then, as you know, as we jump off now into June, July, and August, is all the financial things. So we get ready for the audit. Our auditors are planning to be here for their final work on the 3rd and 4th of August. They did push it back a month from a week from last year. Just a little too much to get that all buttoned up by the end of July. So at the first meeting in August is when you will see plans for reserves. We'll ask the board's input, give you our suggestions, make recommendations. Again, we still have a lot of work to do to get there, but I don't anticipate any problems. Now, with the board's action this evening, we get to go ahead and set everything up that has to change effective July 1. So there's a lot of work to be done, and it really never slows down until maybe the end of November. But we're getting there. Thank you for your support.
We got 2 months of break before budget season.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joy.
You're welcome.
Principal's comments.
I'll just pull this up. So time goes, and I know we have a lot of time, so I was gonna do like an interpretive dance. Also on the passions. We have enough time for that, right? September. All right, is this the first slide? Huh? Is that the first slide?
Yep, I think so.
Okay, all right. So I actually left off with this slide from last time. There were some chickies hatching in pre-K that were a huge deal. We have a live stream cam on them all day, and the teachers were streaming them from the room watching them hatch. I'm talking about like K through 8, like the 8th graders were invested, watching them during advisory, watching them during like the end of class. Let's check on the chickens and see how they're doing and see if they're hatching. There might have been some like, betting on who would hatch first, saying, might have happened, no money involved, just a friendly wager. So it was definitely a whole school activity, and when they were hatched, I think every class either made their way down, chicks ended up in classrooms. It was just such a great way to bring the community together. And I don't think it was intended as that. It was intended as, a science project in pre-K, and it just brought the entire school community together. So it was great to see.
I have a burning question. Where are the chickens now?
Yeah. Yeah, where are the chickens?
Are they here?
Yeah, Ms. Vandenberg has a couple. I think Mr. Schweitzer has a couple. I think maybe Stonewall has eggs. Yep. So, we put numbers on them before they were hatched, and we tried to see which ones would, hatch first, and I think we won. I don't know, I'm just saying I won. So anyway, I'm a little competitive, so I wanted to win. But anyway, the kids loved it, the teachers loved it. Watching Ms. Posey had come in, and she's like has them up in the corner window watching them. So it was just really great. It was a great activity, and the kids, as you can tell, adored them.
Our first grade always got to do something too, right? Yeah. This is where Lucy's kid, kids jumped in. After the student.
Oh, that is awesome. It's awesome. Oh. They toured the school, spreading joy. Here's their names: Aubrey, Goose, Chicky, Cinco, BJ Max, and Rainbow. So.
That is like pre-K summed up in 6th grade.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Our pre-K to 5th grade, did pre-K? Maybe it did. 5th grade dance was first for us, at least recently. I don't know if you did it fast, but and DJ Ed was awesome. He did a great job. The kids had a blast. They definitely did a lot of running around in laps, but they had a really great time. We had the atmosphere was great. PTA did a really nice job jazzing it up, and it felt like a disco. It was a lot of fun. At one point, the kids were doing the conga line and all types of things. So they had a really great time. PTA puts together great events.
Parents teaching kids how to do like a slide and tell them know how to do,
Work for assembly at the end of the year. And I enjoy that our older kids come back and help out. So those are a few of our high schoolers came back to help out. Oh, there you are, Miss Shannon, teaching them.
Oh,
Macarena, that's right, that's right.
I'll put in a plug for our high school kids. We should try. Right now, I've got a high schooler, but after I'm not here anymore, you guys should keep trying to keep in touch with your high school kids, just having them come back and help out with PTA events was, I think, great for them and great for us to have that connection, that help them. They can get a designation on their diploma if they get a certain number of volunteer hours, so it motivates them to want to come back and do it. And we talked about at the PTA how to help them learn how to be good volunteers and having specific tasks and that.
Yeah,
it's definitely something that we want to see.
We had an awesome teacher appreciation week. We did a fairy tale theme, and throughout the week we told a fairy tale story of a teacher who was, just the bumps and bruises and trials and tribulations and the joy and struggle of being a teacher. We told this story, we all woven all throughout the week, and we did some fairy tale type themed foods and drinks and activities. We had a magic bean contest. They got a magic bean on day 1 or day 2. They planted it, and just this past week, whoever had the largest bean won a prize, and our winner was Miss Lucy. Her beanstalk was like this. I don't know what she was putting in. It was amazing though, but Miss Evers is pretty big too, but Miss Evers was only an inch or so shorter. So we did a Kiss the Frog contest. So they had my frogs around the building and Kiss the Frog. So we had a great time. We had a lot of outside support from different groups in the community. The video game place had the teachers over to have an hour faculty meeting. playing video games. They were playing Uno card, all types of games over there, so they had a great time, and it was nice to connect with them as well. We had donations from Stewards, we had donations from the Works. What am I missing, Trish? Is that it? Donuts.
Donuts?
Yeah.
So many donuts.
Yep, and on Fridays, families bring in the Fill It Up Friday, and the faculty room was packed with students. So, and they had those snacks last them another week or so it's nice for them to have lots of things. So they had a good time, and this year was the first year, at least since I've been here, that we didn't have it during an exam week. Normally, we have it during ELA or NET. So we really sought out a week that we weren't testing, so we could really fully enjoy it. Literacy night. Thank you to the committee that put that together. A lot of our teachers come together to really make this happen. It was a theme of Avidus World, so there was planets and solar systems and stars and that type of theme. The teachers put together different types of stations for activities, and the kids enjoyed it. Evening of the Arts. Can't thank everyone enough for pulling this together. This was really a great event. Mr. Gatson, who was here, the artwork was beautiful. I've had people in for interviews, and every single person that comes through the hallway for interview says, "Who does all this artwork? This is beautiful." And it's, Mr. Gatson and the kids. So, and our groups of students did great up on the stage. They practiced and practiced. They practiced in their homerooms. I heard lots of singing in classrooms the days building up. So, this type of event happens, yes, because of music and art, and because all the teachers really come together and support the kids the day, many days before and the day of. Thank you to Sarah for chipping in to work with some of our students, and Jen B did some lessons. They had lessons with kids to get them ready. They had a theme, so some of them were dressed very, very appropriate for their, what they have, different, 50s themes and stuff like that. It was cute. Our first and third grade went on a field trip. Our first and third grade did enjoy it. How the kids do, did they enjoy it? Yeah. What was the highlight?
The fun. Just thinking that the beginning, little turtles. Good.
Wow. It was very exciting.
Seeing the snakes.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And you had a nice day for it. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. It's always exciting.
That was him on the way. Yeah, This was that emotion of
These sixth graders, right, went to Valley, that's fourth and fifth, I'm sorry, also sixth graders went later. Fourth and fifth graders went to Valley Cat, and spent the day, or quite a bit of the day at the stadium. When the sixth graders too went, the theme is the food. The food is what they come back talking about. Baseball's cool, but the food is really the hit. So they enjoyed all types of food. Every picture you'll see them with more food. This class learned about roly-polies. I had to include these because they were so cute with these roly-polies. Was this a science lesson, Sandra?
Yeah, we have two type animals with habitat changes. So we use them in different investigations, and they learn to take care of them. They study them, and we're going to teach them to our first grade buddies. We're going to have them come in, so they get a chance to look at roly-polies and teach them about it. So they love roly-polies. They check it out every day.
They're still in the room?
Yes.
This is quite a while ago. They're still.
Yeah, yeah, there are class packs for the
Nice.
I don't know.
Do they name them that book?
Yes, I said, you can name them if you can find which one is which.
Great. And our PTA and Play Cultural Celebrations was another beautiful event. Just amazing. The number of tables continues to be diverse, and so many of them. The food is always wonderful. The kids are always great. The performances are great. Just a wonderful evening together, and it just feels like the signature of our school. Just a beautiful night. Thank you to all the families that brought food and shared with. I know it takes a lot of planning to bring that amount of food, so thank you for doing that. And our A to Z countdown is on the way. So we had art day and be our guest day. We had our guest speaker, our author came. Our guest author usually comes right around Liberty night. So our author came, the students enjoyed. That was he was like an illustrator, right? He did some illustrating as well as the author.
He did a graphic novel.
Yeah,
He created illustrations with the kids, all their ideas, and pieced them together. It was really exciting.
Yeah, the kids really liked it. Cozy day, we had blankets, and doodle day, we did a lot of drawing, we had watermelon in the cafeteria, thank you to Chef Mike and the cafeteria staff for getting that ready. Folded fly day, we had lots of paper airplanes flying around the schools, Lindsay Lamb, we had some glitter and sunglasses and all types of things. History day is our day to throw back in history and just honor our past, if you will. What else, is that it? And we did just have field day, which I was, my superintendent brought me lunch for allowing it not to rain. You make it not rain, I'll buy you that. But it did rain, it was hot, but we have lots of water, and the kids enjoyed that, so they had a blast. It was really, Ms. Bettinger and Mr. All said it was one of the best field days they can remember. Just all around, the kids were great, the families are great, the weather was great, the activities are really great. They spend time working with the kids on the activities before that day. So we don't just put the kids out there and just play. They practice those games in class for weeks building up. So the games go well, and the kids know how they work, and they know how to play it. So there's no, difficulties when we get out there. So thank you to them for that. So that was a great success. I also wanted to share coming up a couple things besides what Jen talked about. This just went out on Heron Square for 6th and 7th grade on the 24th is going to be the awards ceremony. It will be outside like we did last year as long as it doesn't rain. This went out on Heron Square, and I will hand it out in homerooms. Very few times do middle schoolers bring things home in homerooms though. So I put it on Heron Square as well. 5th grade is going to have their own little thing. We did, what did we say? Monday, the 22nd, yes. Monday, the 22nd, 5th grade is going to do a moving up activity. They're going to do their awards ceremony just like 6th and 7th. So they'll get their awards, and then afterwards they're going to celebrate with some ice cream and just some activities out front. We'll move inside. We just want to celebrate that transition from elementary school to middle school for them. And we're just, we're going to keep it low key, but also celebrate that achievement. That moving into middle school is a big deal, and we want them to know, welcome them almost like into middle school. We do have on the 16th, we have Barbara Cohen, I think her name is. She is a NASA, she works for NASA. She worked on the Artemis flight, and she's coming in to talk to our kids about what it's like to work in NASA and work on a flight. So that is pretty cool. The 4th, 5th, 6th, or 4th and 5th graders are going to get to see her, and then 6th through 8th are going to sign up. The kids that are interested in it will sign up to have the opportunity to see. If they don't want to sign up, I don't know. In June, forcing them to be in a space they don't want to be is not the ideal situation, but the 4th and 5th graders should go right to their classroom. That is it. Any questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Busy month.
Yes. Fun month.
All right, so we're at miscellaneous. This is a chance for board members to talk about community events or suggest something for a future board agenda. Does anybody have anything? I don't need that other than baseball wrapped up this past weekend. So that's all set for the year. Forward advance on that.
Yes.
We will look at the village kids, they're gonna come into a lacrosse camp here this summer and field hockey, so that we know in August. Some summer activities all in the county grass.
I think they're both, uniform camps.
Yeah, and they always send us the links now. There's your map.
I forgot to add that on the 18th hour, North County, South County, and Tech Valley seniors are coming to do walkthroughs in the building. So they'll be doing their final graduation walkthroughs.
12, public comment. During public comment sessions, members of the community may address the board on agenda and non-agenda items. Speakers should identify themselves and the topic on which they'd like to make remarks. Does anybody have anything? Anybody online?
No comments. No comments.
No comments? Okay, then I'm gonna ask for a motion to adjourn. I will say we are going to executive session. You can say if you want, you don't want to take action after the executive session. But again,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Could I get a motion to enter executive session?
I'll make a motion to enter executive session to discuss the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are in executive session. Thank you, everybody.